Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC Vegas 91, Nicolau versus Perez. First things first, please hit the like button for me. Smash that sub button if you haven't, or if you're new to the channel, please hit the notifications also so you know when I put out my videos each week. Also, when we do our live shows for Defend Your Units. And also leave some comments below on how well you did at UFC 300, how well you liked it, and all the craziness that happened. We'll go over that in a second here. Also, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. I put out all of my UFC content, my bets, my early bets. I have a couple at the moment. All my other bets like football, soccer, baseball is coming up. I'm starting to do a little bit more with baseball now. And NBA playoffs. I always like to do NBA and NHL playoffs. So I'm going to have a lot of bets going on. I haven't really posted them yet, but I will shortly here. But I've been doing it more so lately. So I'm going to be a little bit more active with the other sports, not just UFC. So definitely check it out. $5.99 a month. And you can join for free as well. I always put out a little bit of free bets, a little bit of free content too, if you want to do that as well. But let's jump right into it. Let's go to UFC 300 and check out. We'll go over it real quick. It's been a couple weeks. I had a couple, a week to digest and cry a little bit because my favorite fighter lost, all that good stuff. But it is what it is. We'll go through them real quick. We had Figgy versus Cody Garbrandt. Good fight. Cody looked good early in the first round. I actually thought he may have won that round, but Figueredo knew he had a grappling advantage, which is crazy because actually some fighters can actually have a plan B and execute a plan B, because I feel like fighters that lately they go into a fight, they have one plan, and if it doesn't work, what do? I'm just going to keep trying that one plan. Not Figgy. We just found out we just remembered that Figgy was a good grappler. He didn't really have to at the flyweight division, but in this fight, he knew the easiest path to victory for him was to get the fight to the mat, use his grappling. Look what happened. Rear naked choke. Easy peasy. Good bet. I didn't bet it, but whoever had Figgy, good bet. And easy win for him. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I had Jim Miller in this one, but Bobby Green looked great. Was picking him apart, but after the fight, this is the fight. Well, I just said this. Jim Miller, I thought he was going to at least shoot for a couple of takedowns, and that kind of made me mad about my bet. And I was like, this is stupid, because I thought Miller would try the striking first, and if it wasn't working out, he would try for some grappling or wrestling. He didn't try anything like that. But later to find out, he did break his hand in the first round and then broke his toe or something in the second round. So he had a rough go in that fight, so I'll give him a pass, though. But good win from Bobby Green. He did look good. He got cracked a couple times, but, that chin's still there. Andrade versus Rodriguez, very close fight. I did ever so slightly give it to Andrade. I thought she landed the better shots and the better moments. Rodriguez should have won that fight. She made some stupid decisions that cost her the fight. Once she got taken down, she could not get back up. So I think that was her fight. She lost it, and Andrade just gave her whatever Rodriguez did. So good win from her. Moicano versus Jalen Turner. Ooh, am I a little salty still about this one? Jalen Turner had this fight won in the first round, but decided to walk it off like he's some kind of champion or something like that. And maybe he did that because of the last fight when he beat down Bobby Green and the ref didn't stop it. Maybe he's like, I already know this is going to be a knockout. I don't want to do this again. And it looked pretty bad and the ref didn't stop it. Well, guess what, Jalen? The ref didn't stop it again. And Moicano got back up. You didn't finish him. And then you got finished in the second round. So had a Jalen Turner bet in rounds 1 or 2 and didn't work out, clearly. Diego Lopez versus Sadiq Youssef. Lopez is a beast. Killer. Straight up killer. Love it. This guy has power in his hands and got dangerous grappling, man. That is a wicked combo. And Sadiq is no bum at all. But I know he does get hurt in a lot of his fights, and he got hurt in this one pretty bad. But Diego's a monster. Good win. Kayla versus Holly Holm. I had a little sprinkle bet on Holly Holm. Yeah, you can go ahead and laugh at me. It is what it is. Kayla showed that that 135 weight cut wasn't as bad. And she got those takedowns pretty. Holly Holm. Well, I forgot. I just remembered. Holly Holm had the dumbest game plan ever, though. let's clinch and grapple with Kayla Harrison when you clearly could have just stayed on the outside and picked her apart, because the very little of striking that you saw in that fight, Holly Holm was beating her in the striking department. So weird game plan. Like I said, it was just weird game plans all around in this card. And good win from Kayla. I mean, she dominated. Good win. Aljo versus Cater. Bad bet for me. Cater can't stuff any of Aljo's takedowns, and that's just not a good look. I don't think Aljo's takedowns are all that great, but dominant win from Aljo, just pretty boring. He was the only fighter that did not get a post interview after his win. So take it for what that's worth. And hey, at least he got the win. Yuri versus Rakic. I'm okay with losing this bet, and I will pick Rakic again, because I do think he was winning that fight. He was the more technical striker, as I said in my breakdowns, until he got caught. And it happens to everybody. And then after the fight, or a couple days, we found out that Rakic had staph infection, which is probably the reason why he gassed out in the second round. And he just didn't look the same, because he just didn't have any cardio with the antibiotics, kind of like Benoit Saint Denis and Poirier. So again, I don't know why I keep picking and betting fighters that have staph infection all of a sudden. Why don't you just tell me beforehand so I can cash out? Thank you. But again, I would pick Rakic over Yuri. I don't care what anyone says. I think he would beat him again. I think Rakic would beat Yuri 6 or 7 out of 10 times. This is just one that Yuri won. So good win for him, not taking anything away, but I still think Rakic would win. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I mean, we all saw that coming. Let's just move on up. Sad. I thought Charlie Olives was going to get it done early in that first round with that guillotine. He had that sucker locked in. I was jumping up and down, and he got out of it. And then he just kept getting taken down. And I mean, not that like Oliveira wasn't doing anything off his back, but he just couldn't get up. He couldn't really get the striking going because Arman didn't want to strike with him. So that's a good plan from him. And, I mean, Arman won that fight. Should have went to a split. I don't know. And I'm a Charlie Olives fan, trust me. But I thought Arman won 29-28, but it is what it is. But still on Olives, though. It was a good, it wasn't his greatest performance in that, but it wasn't like his shittiest performance either. So I'm kind of upset that Arman did not take the championship fight against Islam, though. I will say that's not a good look. And he probably knows he get wasted because I don't want to get into it. Probably fight of the night, right? Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. I had Max Holloway bet, one of the only bets that I had that I won. Man, he was winning. I almost think he almost won every round except maybe like round 2 or something. I can't even remember right now. But Max Holloway, man, this guy's a monster, and he didn't look like he even got hurt in that fight except his leg. After a couple days, he posted what his leg looked like, but the last 10 seconds made it crazy, and it was great entertainment. And I am shocked that he landed that shot on Gaethje, and Gaethje went down like a sack of potatoes. So Gaethje's tough as hell too, so got to give him credit. He broke his nose probably in the first or second round. I can't remember what round, and he survived. And you could tell it was bothering him a bit, which maybe the performance, wasn't as Gaethje-like, if you want to say. But you had a Max Holloway performance, and he tore him apart. So good win. Wei Li versus Yan. Not a terrible fight. It was actually pretty entertaining. I thought Wei Li got that done in the first round with that choke, but Yan somehow woke up after Wei Li pushed her off, and I'm shocked by that still. But Yan knocked her down a few times, or 2 times, something like that in the fight. But I did think Wei Li won unanimous, at least 48-47. So good. It was good, entertaining fight though. But Wei Li's good. She's good. She can mix in takedown. She's got good striking. She's durable. I mean, that's what a champion's for. And then another crazy championship fight was Pereira versus Jamal Hill. I had Pereira, one of my only other bets that I won too. Yeah, it was a crazy knockout. And the best part was he just, Hill kind of brushed the cup. Herb Dean was coming in to stop it to make sure everything was okay. Pereira said, "Hold my beer. I got this." And then 2 punches later, knockout from Pereira. It was pretty entertaining and pretty classic, if you want to say. Like that fight, that knockout, and Max Holloway's knockout, like I was like speechless. Like like that for like 2 minutes straight because it was insane. But it was an entertaining card. Like I said, my bets weren't amazing. My picks, I think I went 6-7 on my picks. So again, not the greatest, but my bets, like I said, I won my Pereira bet. I won my Holloway plus 5.5 spread bet. And I won Bo Nickel by submission bet. I should have won the Turner bet. And all these other ones they lost. So it is what it is. Minus 4.16 units. So I'm in a little rut now. I think I lost like 4 cards in a row. I was doing good early this year, and it's all down the crap shoot now. So it is what it is. And yeah, we're here. This is where we're at. UFC Vegas 91. We have 12 fights. And I know some of them just recently got canceled. I don't know if they're going to make them up. I know I can't even remember. I think this the James fight. I don't know if he's going to find somebody new. I think the Rebeski, I think he moved to a different card, but we'll start with this one. We got Maheshate versus Gabriel Benitez. And let me get my notes up. Maheshate is a very solid striker. He's got good power in his hands. He can be very hittable on the feet, though. Not super accurate with his striking, but if he does land, he's got some power. He's super young. He really hasn't fought the greatest of competitions. I mean, he did fight Borishev. Borishev is a way better striker than him, and that's a very tough matchup. Garcia, very tough matchup again, and he beat Steve Garcia, which Steve Garcia is looking pretty good lately, but at featherweight. So you can take that for what it's worth. Gabriel Benitez, he's taking this fight on somewhat of short notice. He is a solid striker. He's got very good leg kicks. Takedown defense isn't the greatest, but I don't think Maheshate is going to be shooting takedowns. Gabriel can grapple, but he doesn't really use it. He's more so a striker. So this probably is going to stay on the feet. Maheshate is 11 years the younger. He's going to be taller, the same reach. This is a close fight. And a little bit of me wants to pick Gabriel here, but I do think with the youth and Benitez is looking like he's slowing down a little bit. I know he fought Jim Miller recently, but man, that was a tough fight for him, all fight. But I think this is going to be a little bit of a tough fight for him as well. So give me Maheshate to win. I'm going to say this fight does. Man, I don't know if it goes to decision or not. I'll just go ahead and say decision at the moment, but I wouldn't be shocked if Maheshate gets a knockout. I don't think Gabriel Benitez is going to be knocking out Maheshate. I don't think he has the striking and the power to do it, unless it's maybe like by leg kicks or something like that, or something stupid. But give me Maheshate to win by decision. Gabriel's not a bad dog, but I just can't get around to it. There's something in me just holding me back, but it's not a bad dog. Next one could be Ivana Petrovic versus Liang. And Petrovic is a good grappler. She's got decent striking. She's well-rounded, I guess, if you want to say, but I would say her grappling is a little bit better than her striking. She does have decent takedowns and good submissions, but she really hasn't fought the greatest competition. She's 6-1. She did fight Luana, and Luana did beat her pretty convincingly, but that was her UFC debut. And not to say that she has a layup in this fight, but she's going to be a little bit bigger than but Na is a solid wrestler with pretty sloppy takedowns, but she's super aggressive in the first 2 or 3 minutes in the fight, and her striking isn't all that great. It's super wild, and her cardio obviously is the biggest red flag. We've seen it 3 times in a row in the UFC. She just gasses out after a while and basically gets knocked out, but it's really because she just doesn't have any gas in her, because she just goes crazy in the first 2 or 3 minutes. So again, gonna go with Petrovic here because I do think she can survive the early 2-3 minute storm that Liang is gonna give her, and then I think Petrovic should be able to get a finish, whether it's going to be by a submission, whether it's going to be by a knockout, just because Liang's gas is going to fall to her again. But I mean, there's a shot that Liang can get her out of there early, but her gas tank doesn't allow her to, and she doesn't have crazy power or crazy submissions either. I know she has, a decent amount of them, but they're all against super, super, super low level 0-0, 2-0, 2-2, 4-2, 0-2. Like these fighters are trash cans. I'm just going to say it. They're trash cans. So take it with a grain of salt. Petrovic, I'll say by finish, probably late first or very early second round. I like the under 1.5. You can do under 2.5 to be safe in a parlay. It's something you can look at here. I thought I clicked that, but it didn't work. Ketlin Souza versus Mirnik, Mann, and Souza. Solid striker. She likes to push forward. She's got good power in her hand. She can wrestle and grapple a little bit, but she does prefer to probably keep it on the feet more so than not. In her last fight, she did fight Karini Silva, who is fighting on this card, and she got knee barred. And I think there was an injury in that because it looked like something kind of like tweaked in her knee. So she probably had some kind of surgery or rehab for that. And that was 10 months ago. Something to think about if you're betting this fight. I have a new rule where if they're coming off an injury or a super long layoff, I'm just probably going to stay away from that fighter or fight. So that's just me. Mann, well-rounded herself. She does have good takedowns and good ground and pound. She gets this fight to the mat. Her striking is just okay. She's very durable and very tough, though. She's very short. She's 5 foot. Her striking defense isn't all that great. She did fight Josephine in her UFC debut about 4 months ago, and she lost. I mean, she did survive a lot of some moments, but like I said, she's super durable and she'll fight for your money. Good cardio, but she's just really small though, and she's probably an atom weight. But I'm gonna go with Ketlin here just for a pick. I just think she is the more dangerous fighter, and I think she'll be better on the feet. But if Mann can get some wrestling going and get the takedowns, I think she can win the minutes that way. So the over here I like. I don't think either fighter is going to be able to finish one another. But if there is a finish, I do think it's on the Ketlin side, and I do think Ketlin can win a decision. So I'm just going to go with her to win this fight. I'm going to stay away from the money lines. I'm going to look at the overs in this fight, maybe put it in like a time prop parlay or something like that. But give me Souza to win by decision for this one. All righty, here it is. D1 Don'Tale Mayes versus Caio Machado. We all know who Don'Tale Mayes is. If you watch Defend Your Unit, you know Don'Tale Mayes. I'll tell you that. But he's just an okay striker. He's low volume. He does have some power in his hands. He can wrestle, but super sloppy takedowns. And he has to get a takedown early in the fight. And if not, they're just not going to happen. Even though he'll try for them, it's more so a clinch up against the cage, and he's not going to go get those takedowns. He's not great anywhere. He's so, like I said, he's super low volume. He's durable. I'll give him that. But he slows down as the fight goes on a lot. Machado, he's well-rounded, good striking, good volume. He's a little bit smaller heavyweight, but he is quick on the feet. He does have, for a heavyweight, he does have quick striking. Good cardio as well. And that's pretty much how this fight's going to play out. If Mayes doesn't catch Machado early, Mayes is going to lose this fight, probably by decision. So give me Machado, because I do think Machado's pretty tough. He's never been finished. I just think Mayes, his striking is super slow, and Machado is going to be way quick. Mayes is going to have to land something crazy that Kyle just doesn't see to win this fight. I'm sorry. And I'm a D1 Don'Tale Mayes fan. You know this by now. But Machado's probably going to win this fight, probably by a decision. It's going to be one of these sloppy heavyweight fights where we see some, maybe a couple moments in the first round, but after the first round, it's just going to be sloppy to the end. And usually the guy with the more volume, who's throwing a little bit more with a little bit better cardio, is going to win these fights. This is a lower level heavyweight fight. That's what happens. Machado's going to win this one by decision. I wish he was a plus 135. I will say that, but he's more so a pick 'em at the moment. More money's coming in on him. So I think Machado's the play here by decision. Like I said, you can look at if they give us a 1.5 over line, play that. I think that's what's going to be, but they're probably going to do 2.5 in this one, but we'll see. Next fight, Austin Hubbard versus Michael Figlak. And let me get this out of the way. Austin Hubbard, let's see. Where is he? What is going on with all of these things. I can't even get this out of the way. Tell you what I'll do. Here we go. There we go. Sorry, guys. A lot of ads popping up. Hubbard, well-rounded guy. He's got good striking. Okay, he does have some power in his hands, but he's not going to knock any like a lot of people out on the feet. Okay, wrestling. Okay, grappling. His takedown defense pretty good. He's just like average everywhere. He's durable and good cardio. He's just good. He's good everywhere. Good, solid guy. He's not gonna make the rankings anytime soon, but it is what it is. Figlak, though, he's well rounded. He's got very good striking, good power in his hands, solid wrestling as well, offensively if he needs to, decent grappling. But he's more so gonna keep the fight on the feet. He is a striker. Um, he hasn't fought in a while, and his last fight was about a year and a half ago against Ziam. And I think if I remember correctly, don't quote me. I do think he took that fight on somewhat short notice. I could be wrong. But he is very hittable on the feet, though, too. But like I said, Austin Hubbard's not going to be knocking anybody out or anytime soon. And Hubbard is hittable himself, too. So I like Figlak here. The only thing that does worry me a bit is the layoff. He is still young. Both these guys, they're looking about the same height, same reach. So going to lean Figlak here, but honestly, it wouldn't shock me if Hubbard can get some takedowns and maybe win this fight by decision. So I like the overs in this fight. Hubbard, his weakness is more so like against grapplers with very good submissions. Because he does get submitted a decent amount of time, but I don't think he's been knocked out. No, he's never been knocked out, but he's been subbed 3 times in his 7 losses. So look at the overs in this fight, but I do like Figlak. I think the line is pretty appropriate. I think he's about a minus 150, but that layoff is just a little worrisome for me. So Figlak by decision, though. Slight lean on that one. Next one's going to be Yahya versus Victor Henry. And Yahya, very, very, very good grappler. He does have very good submissions. His wrestling is pretty good once he's on top. His takedowns, they're okay. I wish they were a little bit better, but he is getting up there in age. He's 39 years old. His striking is not good at all, but he is durable. I think he got knocked out. Yeah, he got knocked out against Montel Jackson in his last fight, but Montel Jackson is a beast. That was 11 months ago. So I think everything should be fine. He's not rushing back anytime soon. So he's not like 3 months ago he got knocked out by Montel Jackson. But he does have good cardio. And like I said, he is pretty durable, except his last fight. Victor Henry, very good striker, tons of volume, good cardio. He is pretty durable, except in his last fight, he did get kicked in the nuts. And apparently something happened. It didn't look too bad, but I guess something bad happened. I don't know if he broke something or I don't know. Check it out, whatever. But he is pretty durable. He does have good takedown defense, so he's going to keep this fight on the feet. So striker versus grappler. I'm going to go Victor Henry because I do think he should be able to keep this fight on the feet for the majority of the fight. Both guys have, and Victor does have good takedown defense and good cardio too. So I think he can get back up, and Yahya's going to struggle a little bit. So I'm not laying this minus 650 though on Victor Henry. That's insane. So I can't trust either guy really. So I'm just going to pick Victor Henry. I'm probably going to stay away from this fight and just watch it. But there's a lot of these fights where you shouldn't even bet one side or another. It's more so, I think there's a lot of time prop bets you should do this one. The money lines are weird. I'll be honest though, but this is one of them. I think the line's pretty wide, but I'm still think Victor Henry wins this one. I'll say by decision too. Main card, we got Tim Means versus Uros Medic. And Tim Means, we all know who he is. He's a UFC vet. He's well-rounded, good striking, good grappling, good volume. I know he's been subbed a lot in his career, but guess what? Medic is a striker, so he doesn't worry about that. Means only been knocked out twice. I know there's there's been some of his submission losses of more like club and subs. But he is 40 years old now. Another rule for me, I'm not betting fighters over the age of 38 years old unless they're fighting someone the same age. Medic, though, Dangerous striker. He does have good power in his hands early in the first and early second round. Good volume too. He does leave himself open for counters. He can be hittable too. He can get rocked, but he kind of initiates, if you want to say, like a brawling sometimes, but instead of like a technical striking, but he's hoping to land that shot. He does slow down as the fight goes on. We've seen in his last loss against Orelbe. I think I saw you say it. He did get taken down a lot and controlled, and he eventually got submitted. So I think this fight's going to play out closer than the line says. I am going to lean Medic here, though. I just think he's got the power early, but if this fight does get out of the first round and Tim Means is looking pretty fresh, maybe he lost it and he doesn't look like he got rocked or anything, I think Tim Means is live in the later rounds, so that could be a good live bet, but not touching this line whatsoever. Like I said, I do lean on the Medic side just because I do think he's more dangerous, and I do think he can knock out Tim Means at the age of 40 years old. But I'm a little worried, and I'm not too confident. So give me Medic to win. I'll say by knockout in the first or second round. That's how he's going to have to win, because I don't think he's going to win a decision. I'll be honest with that. So that's what I think is going to happen. Next one's going to be a good one here. Jonathan Pearce versus David Onama. And Jonathan Pearce, we saw in his last fight, he was looking real good. Well-rounded guy, very good takedowns, very good wrestling, very good grappling, good top control. Decent volume on the feet, but he does prefer to get the fight to the mat. He's a grappler, he's a wrestler, good scrambles, good reversals. He can be taken down, but luckily for him, he's not fighting another grappler or wrestler. But Onama, solid striker, good volume, good power. Takedown defense isn't the greatest, and that is where the key in this fight is. Cardio is pretty good, and he's durable. I know he got knocked out recently against knocked down, I'm sorry, against Landwehr, but he had a good fight against Gabriel Santos. I'll give him that one, but I got to go Jonathan Pearce here, and mainly because he was rolling against Joe Anderson Brito, and I would pick Joe Anderson Brito over David Onama, even though they're different styles, but he was rolling until he got caught in the ninja choke or whatever. Onama's not going to be able to do that. Not what Brito does. Brito's got very nasty submissions, and Onama's, like I said, Onama's takedown defense isn't all that great. And I think Pearce can get that wrestling going for at least 2 rounds and win. He's just going to have to worry about the third, because if Onama still has the cardio to get him out of there, maybe he can get a late finish. But I like Pearce to get the win. I'm going to say by decision, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to submit or knock out Onama. He's going to have to put on a pretty decent grappling, wrestling pace, and I do think he can. And he just can't get a little cocky like he did against Joe Anderson Brito, talking crap to him, and then all of a sudden he gets ninja choked. But like I said, David Onama is not Joe Anderson Brito. But I do think this is going to be a good fight, grappler versus striker. I usually go the striker, but I don't think this is too close of a fight. I do like Jonathan Pearce's grappling and wrestling a lot. So I think he gets this one done by decision. Next one is going to be, I'm just going to guess, Honata Diniz versus Austin Lane. Diniz making his UFC debut. He's a very powerful striker. He's got very good kickboxing, good combinations, okay takedown defense, pretty good volume. He's tough. He's durable. He can be hittable on the feet when he's going for it. His last fight against Eduardo Neves, like they were kind of trading a little bit back and forth, and he's a kind of, I don't know, it just didn't really look good, but he got the win. So good win for me. He got the knockout. He's 6-0. He's kind of learning on, the MMA, but he's a very good kickboxer. I think he has a whole bunch of kickboxing experience. So Austin Lane, he's a solid striker. He's very tall. He's 6'6", he's 80-inch reach. He used to play football, all that good stuff. And his striking is a little unorthodox. He does like to take chances with like spinning attacks, jumping attacks. He's very athletic. He does have decent wrestling and grappling if he initiates them, which I do think he needs to in this fight. But if this fight plays out on the feet, Diniz is going to win this fight. He's going to probably knock him out just like Tafa did. Now, where the fight can get a little tricky is if Lane gets the wrestling going and extends this fight into later rounds. Maybe Diniz slows down a bit because he's not used to all the grappling and the wrestling and all that stuff. But I'm going to go with Diniz to win. I'm going to say first round knockout. I just don't trust Austin Lane's chin. And I think it's going to get cracked. I trust Diniz's chin way more. And I don't think Austin Lane's wrestling and grappling is like amazing to the point where I think he's going to be able to basically destroy Diniz on the mat. He might get a takedown here or there, but I just don't think it's going to be anything crazy like Jonathan Pearce wrestling, if you want to say. So give me Diniz to win first round knockout here. Maybe I'll look at the unders in this one. Maybe look at the Diniz KO prop. But I don't want to touch that minus 250 money line because I do think this fight doesn't go. Now, if this fight's lined at 1.5, this could be a sneaky one that does slightly go over. So I think in his last, let me check real quick. I don't want to lie. I think this fight did go a little bit later. No, it didn't. So most of his wins, let's put it that way, even in kickboxing, are in the first round. So he does have a ton of kickboxing fights and experience. So I'll just say first round Diniz. Maybe look at the under 1.5 too, just to be safe. Next fight I'm looking forward to here is Karini Silva versus Ariane Lipski. And Karini Silva, very, very good grappler with very, very good submissions. Pretty good takedowns as well. Does have good top control. She's got good submissions when she's on top, when she's on her back, when she's on her side, whatever. She can get any submission in any position she's at. She does have good power in her hands. Her striking is looking a little bit more improved. She's very durable. I know people are going to question her cardio, and she has been to decision, I believe, once, and she did lose. A lot of her fights she's winning are in the first or second round. She's lost once in the third round. So she's only been to the third round twice, and she's only been to decision once. But I think her cardio is just fine because I don't think this fight's going to last that long. Ariane Lipski, though, solid striker. She does have pretty her takedown defense, I should say, is improving. She doesn't really move her head too much when she's on the feet, and she can be hittable and she can get cracked. But she can grapple, but I strongly suggest she does not grapple in this fight. I know she did got her submission armbar against Casey O'Neill, but this is a different beast right now that she's fighting. I'm all over Karini Silva. I'll say it right now. I think she wins this fight. I think she gets a finish. It's probably going to be by submission. Lipski has been finished a pretty decent amount. She's been knocked out 4 times in her career. She's never been submitted, but this is a fighter where she can get her first submission loss 100%. So on the feet, I think this fight's going to be close because I think Silva has more power. And I just don't think Lipski's head movement and striking defense is all that great. So she can land on Lipski on the feet. And like I said, if this fight does get to the mat, I love Silva. So the only thing that Lipski has going for her that I will give her the edge is maybe if this fight extends, maybe Silva gets a little bit tired if she's going for finishes a little bit crazy because that's just her. She goes for finishes. She's a killer, like her nickname is. She's got a ton of finishes in her career. So I just don't think this fight gets out of the second round. So give me Silva to win. I'm going to say by submission, and I'm going to say first round submission. Or it could be something like a club and sub as well. Maybe she cracks her and then gets some kind of guillotine or choke or rear naked choke, something like that. So like I said, I'm all over Karini, and her line is not plus 115 anymore. It is like minus 150. So that line completely flipped, and for good reason. I 100% see why. Next one is going to be a fun fight for however long it lasts. It's going to be Ryan Spann versus Bogdan Guskov. Spann, super dangerous guy. He's got tons of power in his hands. Kind of loopy striking, though. Good submissions, like good front chokes, good guillotines, all that stuff. He doesn't really like shoot for takedowns and grapple, but if somebody shoots on him, he's going to look for that front choke. He's more so known for like first round or bust, Ryan Spann, but he did go to decision against Anthony Smith. But a lot of these fights, haven't gone past like round and a half for these other ones that he's winning and or losing. Guskov, though, very powerful striker. He does have okay takedowns and ground and pound if he gets the fight to the mat, which I don't suggest he tries to because I do think he's going to be able to get submitted. But he is pretty durable. He can take some punches, but he is hittable. Cardio, a little questionable as well. Like I said, that's why I said that however long this fight lasts, because both these guys' cardio is a little bit questionable. And he really hasn't fought the greatest competition. That 15-3 is a little bit sketchy. I know he fought Volkan Ozdemir, but he lost pretty handedly. And he beat Zach Pauga. Good for him. Not really a big thing to hang your hat on, but he took a couple of good shots from Pauga and he landed a good shot and knocked him out. So that was 2 months ago. Wow, I thought that was a lot longer. But I got to go with Ryan Spann because I just think he's more dangerous. I think he's fought the better experience. I think he should be able to land on Bogdan. And if he stuns Bogdan or Bogdan shoots a lazy takedown after he's hurt, Spann's going to wrap up a submission. And he's done that against, Ian Cutelaba, and he's done that to a couple other people too. So give me Spann to win. Like I said, I'm going to say by knockout, though, in the first round. But look at the unders in this fight. Both these guys go for the finish. They're both killers, and they're both can be submitted and or finished themselves. So I'm looking at the unders in this fight instead of picking a side. So I'll wait till those come out. But give me Spann by, I'll say, first round knockout. Main event, Matheus Nicolau versus Alex Perez, who we just saw maybe a month ago. About a month ago. Nicolau is a very good technical striker. He does have some pretty decent pop in his hands if he lands some good counter shots. He's not going to be like that typical one punch knockout guy, but if he lands at the right, time with the combos or his opponent just doesn't see it, he can get those knockouts. Good wrestling, good grappling. He's, like I said, he's well-rounded. Good takedown defense. Sometimes he can be a little low volume and stay on the outside and, go against the cage and only pop a jab in here and there and then jump right back out. But overall, though, he's good. He's durable. I know he got knocked out against Brandon Royval. It was more so a knee than that got him. But that was 11 months ago. He took the necessary time off from that. I like to see that because that was a pretty decent knockout from Royval. But Perez, we just saw him. He is taking this fight on somewhat short notice, though. Solid striker, good boxing, good leg kicks, good wrestling, good takedown defense, good takedowns too. His little red flag for me is his submission defense isn't the greatest. And his last fight against Muhammad Mokaev, he was literally stuffing takedowns for like 12 and a half minutes of that 15-minute fight because the first couple minutes, Mokaev was looking good with the striking, and then he had staph infection. And he started just wrestling for the last 2 rounds, and I don't even know if he won that fight, let's be honest, but it is what it is. He got the win. But Perez didn't look all that bad, but he was just stuffing takedowns after like the whole fight. So you really even couldn't see if he improved or anything like that. But I don't see Matheus trying to get this fight to the mat unless Perez shoots a sloppy takedown or something like that, and maybe Matheus uses his grappling. I think this fight will stay on the feet. I do favor Nicolau a little bit more on the feet. I think he's just a little bit more technical, but Perez is not bad at all, and this could be a good dog shot as well. But I just ever so slightly lean Nicolau, especially in a 5-round fight. And I think this fight does go into the later rounds at the very least. And maybe Perez looks good in the first couple, but I do think that Nicolau will look better as the fight goes on. He'll start landing more combinations and probably just winning a very close decision. So I'll look at the overs in this fight. I don't think either guy is going to be knocking anybody out unless it's late in the fight. So Nicolau by decision is my pick, but again, I wouldn't be shocked if Perez wins this fight because I think this is a very close fight. So it's why I'm not really running to the table or to bet Nicolau at minus 175. Now, if he was like minus 130, maybe I would, but not at this price. I do think it's appropriately aligned, and I think the dog is probably the way to go if you want to bet. But pick-wise, give me Nicolau. But all right, that is it. That is all 12 fights for UFC Vegas 91. Thank you everybody for watching. I don't know why this crazy thing keeps popping up, but it is what it is. Here we go. Thank you everybody for watching, and please, on your way out, hit that like button for me. Give me some comments below. It does help the video out a ton. Wednesday night this week, me and Cody from Blood Money MMA Bets, we will be doing our live show. Not sure what channel yet, Defend Your Units, but we'll figure it out. We'll post it on Twitter, Instagram, so you know it's going to be Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern time every week. And yep, that's all I got for you guys. Appreciate you, like I said, watching. Hopefully we'll get back on this winning track here and get some units. So definitely check out my Patreon as well. Take care. Good luck on your bets.